Hi everyone. So first, I just want to say congratulations. So many of those progressive era DBQ essays that were coming in, even the draft, were really solid, showed great understanding of the time period. Really nice way to end the unit on industrialization and progressive era. You guys did a phenomenal job. That said, today and this week, we will be studying our new unit, which is World War I. We're studying World War I this whole week. So all the lessons this week will be focused on our new unit, World War I, and obviously today we are launching our unit. Let's get started. I'm just going to adjust my camera a little bit. Here we go. I will be able to explain the main causes of global war. So global war, let's think about this term. War obviously is related to war, right? Global means all countries. So a global war is a war that involves all countries. World War I is called a world war because it's a global war. It was a war that involved almost every country, or a great many of them. It was a war that involved many, many countries. Today, you guys are going to figure out the four main causes of both World War I and all global wars. These main causes are militarism, that's what the M stands for. Militarism, alliances, that's what the A stands for. Imperialism, that's the I. And finally, nationalism. Four main causes of global war, of war that involves all or many countries, like World War I. The four main causes of all global war are militarism, alliances, imperialism, nationalism. You do not yet know what these four concepts mean. In today's activity, you are going to figure out what these four concepts mean. I am not going to tell you. I am, however, going to give you guys a quick video that gives us a backdrop, some very basic information about World War I, and then you're going to go straight into today's activity. Today's activity does not necessarily teach us all of the causes of global war, of World War I. It's focused on these four main causes, these four main concepts that are really important for understanding everything that's going to come later in this week. So here comes the video. Give me 1 second to screen share. So here's a video that gives us a quick overview of World War I. Oops, sorry.
Known at the time as the Great War, or the War to End All Wars, World War I was the first global war, lasting 4 years. It involved 30 countries and 65 million soldiers, causing unprecedented levels of carnage and destruction. It all started in Europe during the summer of 1914, when a young Serbian nationalist assassinated an Austro-Hungarian archduke. Alliances of Europe's most powerful nations, formed over the previous decades, squared off against each other, and the conflict soon spread around the world. Along the Western Front in Europe, soldiers packed into 2,500 miles of trench lines, one soldier for every 4 inches of trench. World War I introduced many technological firsts, such as machine guns, tanks, and chemical weapons. In all, more than 100,000 tons of chemical weapons agents were used in the conflict. And the first ever blood bank was set up by U.S. Army Medical Corps on a Belgian battlefield in 1917. But although the fighting was fierce, we bet you didn't know about a brief but memorable truce, which occurred on Christmas Eve 1914, when fighting spontaneously stopped along 2/3 of the Western Front. Near Ypres, Belgium, German and British troops played a football match in no man's land. Germany won 3-2. Most leaders had thought the war would be over by the holidays, but 4 more years of bloodshed ensued. World War I finally ended at 11 a.m. of the 11th day of November 1918. All in all, some 9 million soldiers were killed, a rate of at least 6,000 a day. Some 21 million more were wounded. At least 5 million civilians died of disease, starvation, or exposure. The deadly influenza epidemic of 1918 to 19 also took its toll, killing more American soldiers than died in battle. Perhaps worst of all, the war to end all wars would not fulfill that promise. Instead, the Versailles Treaty's punitive terms against Germany proved a destabilizing force, helping sow the seeds for Adolf Hitler's rise and the start of another world war barely 2 decades later.
So that video obviously gives us a very quick overview of this conflict. Your job today is not to figure out the nitty-gritty or the timeline of events leading up to World War I. It's to understand the main causes, the forces behind this war. And to understand the main causes of World War I, we are going to do an activity that makes you responsible for learning about what each of these causes means. So first, you've got your main causes of World War I vocab chart. Before you begin today's activity, you're going to go through and read, annotate your vocabulary chart. Once you've done that, you'll be able to answer the questions in your main causes graphic organizer. This is your assignment for today. Directions. Using the information on the main causes of World War I vocab chart, that's the previous page, complete the following graphic organizer. The questions are based on the documents in the leftmost column. Underneath each picture is a link to a PowerPoint that includes each image as well as a description of the image. Go to this PowerPoint to see each document in greater detail. Then come back to this graphic organizer to answer the questions. So on the left-hand side, you've got the document. Your first question asks you, which of the main causes, is it militarism, alliances, imperialism, nationalism? Which of the main causes does this document connect to and why? You don't know what the main causes are yet. You're going to have to look at your vocabulary chart to match up the picture with one of the main causes. In the last column, you need to make a prediction. How could this concept, militarism, alliances, imperialism, nationalism, how could the concept lead to a global war, to a war that involves all countries? In order to access the document, simply click on the link to the PowerPoint included in the graphic organizer. There you will see not only the document, but a description that will help you figure out the essential meaning behind the document.